Okay, I'm gonna do a video tutorial on how to root the Droid Incredible. Okay, what you're gonna need is I'm gonna provide a link, and on that link it's a folder full of those files. I'll be using my TV as my monitor since I don't actually have a computer monitor. Okay, I know you won't be able to read that, but that's fine. Okay, first thing you want to do is I actually did a clear storage. This deletes everything on your phone, all your apps, all your history. Keep in mind that your contacts are going to stick with your Gmail. So the only thing you're going to be losing is all the data that's associated with the applications, okay, and the applications themselves. You can just re-download those off the marketplace, though. Okay. Okay. Now what you have to do is you have to connect it to your computer. That's my computer over there. Sorry about that. It's a little bit hard to do with one hand. Okay. Once you have that, on the folder itself, you're going to see a couple files. The superuser.apk, copy that to your SD card, put it on the root. Same thing. Well, actually, that's pretty much it. If you want to downgrade it, I have a folder that says downgrade. This is the instructions. Just read the README with the instructions on how to do it, and here's a file. That's optional. You don't really need that. The three files that you're mostly going to be concerned as BusyBox, OTA, and the payload one. Those are the ones that you actually need to perform a root. The loop one is just going to help you, well, I'll explain it later. Okay, what you need to do also is need to install the Android SDK. I have that located under C Drive SDK. And then go to Tools. Then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to copy all these three files. Payload, OTA, and loop. Oh, and BusyBox. All to this Tools folder within the SDK. If you don't know how to do that, look that up. I don't have enough time to explain that right now. Because it's going to be a short video. Okay, now what we're going to do, once we do that, I'll also have inside this folder, which I will provide a link for, a file called commands.txt, and those are the 4 commands that I will use. Okay, now I'm using Windows 7 64-bit edition. What I'm going to be doing right now is going to the command prompt, or the run prompt right there, type in cmd. As soon as it appears on the top, right click on it and then go to run as administrator. Okay, I will do a cd backslash enter, then type in cd sdk. Well, you just have to get to that tools folder, so that's all I'm doing. So I'm typing cd sdk, and then once I'm in the SDK folder, I'm typing cd tools to get in that folder. Okay, one of the files that I copied over was a file called loop. It's actually loop.bat. What that's going to do is, as you can see, it's going to run a loop of, it's going to try to get into ADB shell. Okay, that's all it's trying to do. What this is, it's an ADB loop exploit. So while your phone is actually booting into recovery, there's actually a possibility that this will actually go through. Right now it just says error device not found. That's what's going to appear. Okay, I'm just going to type in power off. Hit OK. Now keep in mind, this is more of a luck thing. Like there's times when I ran this once and it went through fine. There's other times where I had to do it 3 or 4 times. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold down the volume key and hit power. Okay, it's gonna give you this little HBoot screen. It's gonna try to boot a file that's not located on that SD card, so it's gonna fail in a bit. Okay, now I have to go to recovery. What you're actually hoping for here is, as soon as you go into recovery, it's going to give you, it's not going to say error device not found, but it's actually going to take you into the shell, and it's going to try to locate a folder that's not there. Well, it's not going to try to locate a folder that's not there, but once inside ADB shell, it's going to, because it's a loop, it's going to run ADB shell again, it's going to give you an error. Okay, that didn't work, so what we're going to do now is going to hold down the volume up key and then hit power. Okay, and then here's a little recovery. I can never get this thing to work exactly, so sometimes I actually just end up turning off the, like removing the battery. That's how I usually reboot, but there's an actual option on here to reboot, so let's try that first. Oops. I accidentally hit install update, but that's not going to work. Reboot now, hold down the volume down key. Hopefully this works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it actually requires me to remove the battery. Looks like it's not going to boot. So here, let me let go of this thing real quick, and I'll remove the battery. Okay, so I just removed the battery. Okay, we're going to try putting the battery back on it, holding down the volume key and pushing power again. Okay, again, it's going to try loading a file that's not located on my SD card, so it's going to fail in a bit. And just go back, go to recovery. Like I said, this is a bit of luck. Last time I did this, it took 2 tries. The first time I did it actually took only 1 try. Okay, once you get that screen, you hold volume up and power. Okay, and the computer's still showing the exact same thing, so I'm going to do the exact same thing as remove the battery, connect the battery back on there, hold down the volume key, hold power. It's going to fail again because there's no folder file there. Reboot it into recovery. Like I said, you can actually downgrade it if you want. I've tried it with a OTA update applied on the phone. It worked. I also did it by downgrading it, and that also worked. Okay. Looks like 3rd time's a charm. See how it's showing a different thing now? It says failed no such folder / directory. It's because you're already in ADB shell. So let's just make this window active. And now I'll just hit a Control-C on the keyboard, and it's going to say terminate batch job, and this is where you hit yes. Okay, now that we got that part done. Okay, now we're looking on here, and I'm sorry, you hold down the volume key again. Once you get the screen, just hold down the volume key and you hit the power. Power button, and you're going to get this screen. Okay. Once you get on the screen, you're going to go to where it says apply SD card update.zip. So I'm just going to select that by hitting volume down. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know if I explained it or not, but to toggle from up and down, it's the volume up to go up, the volume down to go down, and if you want to actually select something, you just hit the power button. So, apply SD card, it's going to fail. Okay, it's going to fail. Now, what you want to do is there's a couple files you need to push off here. That's where this commands come in. Just open up the commands.txt file and copy the first file. The first line. Paste it within the tools folder. Keep in mind that this file has to be on that folder. It was one of the 3 files that we moved into this folder. It was loop.bat, which ran that little loop of the ADB shell, the one we were just viewing. The thing that caused all these errors to appear up here. Okay, now we're going to push BusyBox to the SD card. Oops. Okay, there you go. It transferred correctly. Now, there's another file called OTA. This is the actual OTA file. What's going to happen now is that you're actually going to trick into updating the patch one instead of the, which is, I guess it's an exploit or whatever, but it's going to be a file that's going to apply root to the phone itself. Okay, looks like I'm running out of time, so this is going to be a part 2. Okay? I'm just going to turn off now.